Karl Marx, who really was a secretary who was commissioned to type and publish the Communist Manifesto for the Communist Party, is also well known for a quote pertaining to religion, where he called it the opiate of the masses, when in reality such a phrase is more fitting to describe professional sports. Each weekend during football season, millions of Americans eat, sleep, and dream about NFL football games that are played, and it's fascinating to see so many people yell and scream at the TV and have their entire mood the following day affected by whether their favorite team won or lost. Super Bowl champions are held up like heroes who just saved a group of children from a burning building, when in reality all they really did is chase after a ball on a field. I've always found it odd how so many Americans can talk endlessly about the players and their stats while not even knowing their own state capital or basic American history. George Orwell captures the heart of the matter in his famous novel 1984 when he wrote, "Heavy physical work, the care of home and children, petty quarrels with neighbors, films, football, beer, and above all gambling filled the horizons of their minds. To keep them in control was not difficult." Meaning the general public, of course. Don't get me wrong, playing sports is great. They teach people teamwork, strategizing, friendly competition, and encourage a healthy lifestyle. But mainstream sports entertainment has been turned into a religion. And it is also used as a vehicle to deliver liberal propaganda as well. Sports stadiums are really just modern-day versions of the Roman Coliseum, which served as a bread and circus distraction for the general public. The term bread and circuses refers to the diversions and the distractions to satisfy the primitive and shallow desires of the general public so they don't organize or speak out or protest against social or political injustices or government corruption. The term dates back to the ancient Roman Empire and refers to the emperors providing free bread and entertainment to the people as a way to pacify them and avoid dissent. It would be one thing if sports ball was just entertainment, but unfortunately it has been co-opted by those with political agendas, and not just by liberals, but by the infamous military-industrial complex as well. Taxpayers pick up the tab for the fighter jets that often fly over the stadiums to kick off the Super Bowl, which costs hundreds of thousands of dollars, an event that also serves as a recruiting tool for the military. In 2015, it was revealed that the Pentagon had paid the NFL $7 million over the previous 3 years alone to promote the Department of Defense by having pregame enlistment ceremonies for the military. After discovering these payments were being made, there was an amendment to the annual defense authorization bill that would end paying for this kind of propaganda program because people never realized that millions of dollars of taxpayer money was being spent on these stunts, and the NFL was cashing in on them. That same year, the NBA teamed up with radical feminist Sheryl Sandberg, a top executive at Facebook at the time, to promote her Lean In campaign, which lectured men to take more responsibility for housework and childcare and to do their fair share of daily chores. Sandberg's organization was previously behind the Ban Bossy campaign, which aimed to officially deem bossy to be a sexist slur. The Lean In campaign included NBA players like LeBron James and Stephen Curry, who appeared in PSAs on major television networks and in announcements during NBA games to promote feminism. Seriously, LeBron James, a man who undoubtedly has a team of assistants, nannies, maids, personal chefs, stylists, landscapers, appeared in a feminist commercial, or multiple feminist commercials, encouraging men to do more cooking and cleaning around the house. You can't even watch SportsCenter anymore without being lectured about white privilege these days and how there are too many white people playing hockey and golf, and now many black sportscasters have clear disdain for Caitlin Clark because a white girl is the biggest star in the WNBA. During the COVID lockdowns, the NBA was allowed to keep their season going after it was initially suspended in March by playing in a single isolated stadium in Orlando with no fans. And because it resumed around the same time the George Floyd riots began, they decided to show their solidarity with the anti-white communist uprising by painting a gigantic Black Lives Matter mural on the court itself, which was so huge, remember this, it was clearly visible throughout every game that season. And who could forget the national anthem controversy in the NFL when Colin Kaepernick refused to participate in the annual tradition, which has been performed at the start of every football game for generations. It signifies how fortunate we are to live in the United States, where citizens can enjoy such entertainment at their leisure. But that tradition, too, came under attack by anti-American forces within our own country. That battle over the national anthem became part of pop culture in 2016 when that loser quarterback, who was adopted as a child by a nice white family since his black biological mother and father abandoned him, started kneeling or sitting during the song instead of proudly standing with his hand over his heart in order to protest against supposed police brutality and to show solidarity with the Marxist Black Lives Matter movement. It sparked a national debate with the usual leaders of cultural decay, Hollywood celebrities, and liberal journalists siding with Kaepernick and painting him as some kind of a civil rights hero, while the tradition itself was attacked, with many calling for the national anthem to stop being performed at sporting events altogether. Mark Cuban, owner of the Dallas Mavericks NBA team, quietly stopped playing the national anthem before games in his stadium in November 2020, but then resumed the tradition after pushback from the NBA 3 months later. Remember when New Orleans Saints quarterback Drew Brees apologized for saying that he would still stand during the national anthem and thought people kneeling were disrespecting the flag? The following day, after his initial comments, he posted this pathetic video on Instagram.
I know there's not much that I can say that would make things any better right now, but I just want you to see in my eyes how sorry I am for the comments that I made yesterday. I know that it hurt many people, especially friends, teammates, former teammates, loved ones, people that I care and respect deeply. That was never my intention. I wish I would have laid out what was on my heart in regards to the George Floyd murder, Ahmaud Arbery, the years and years of social injustice, police brutality, and the need for so much reform and change in regards to legislation and so many other things to bring equality to our black communities.
All that for just disagreeing with those who refused to respect the national anthem at the games. He caused pain. Pathetic. If America was still a sane country, he would have been fired for being such a pathetic loser and siding with the anti-American communists. To appease the crazies, the NFL started having a singer perform what they call the Black National Anthem before games in 2021, which is going to be sung again tonight before the Super Bowl. A song that some black people feel better represents them because many disgruntled black people think the national anthem itself is racist and it's a celebration of white supremacy. The NAACP, the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People, as it's called, says that the Star-Spangled Banner is one of the most racist songs in America. Democrat Congressman Cedric Richmond of Louisiana, who was the head of the Congressional Black Caucus at the time, a group of black congressmen who worked to promote the interests of black people over other Americans, promoted a petition posted on change.org calling for it to be abolished, saying that it contains racism, elitism, and even sexism. Now, I'm not saying that enjoying sports is entirely pointless. We all need entertainment, but as a media analyst today, I find it fascinating how football, especially, is artificially boosted as if it's the center point of American culture. And you're out of touch if you don't keep up with which team is better at chasing a ball around on a grass field. The dirty secret of the NFL is the massive price that players pay in order to play professional football, literally sacrificing themselves to the game in terms of brain damage and destroying their bodies. Hall of Fame quarterback Terry Bradshaw is just one of many former players who have said that the game is so damaging that he wouldn't even let his own son play. Another dirty secret is that many serious injuries and deaths continue to occur during football practice at high schools across the country. In 2013, the NFL agreed to a $765 million settlement in a class action lawsuit filed by more than 4,500 players who accused the league of covering up the dangers of brain injuries, which many cite as possibly causing Alzheimer's, dementia, and depression. There is something to be admired about the dedication and consistency that professional athletes have, don't get me wrong, and those principles can be applied to achieving success in other areas of life. The Olympics is in a different category, I think, because it's every 2 years, it's only 2 weeks, it involves a wide variety of competitions and is a global competition. But to obsess over professional athletes' achievements of chasing after a ball is rather infantile. It's okay to not follow the crowd and not spend your Sundays sitting in front of a television watching a bunch of overpaid men chase after a ball and instead do anything else. And when I say that, some people respond with comments like, well, what else is there to do on the weekends? Which clearly shows their diminished mental capacity, because you could do anything from reading a book to doing home improvement projects to finding any kind of hobby that doesn't involve sitting in front of a television. Painting, woodworking, auto shop, exercising, because we have to make America healthy again if we're going to make America great again. And don't even get me started on the Super Bowl commercials, which are always a favorite of the mentally enslaved masses, because if you need a bunch of celebrities to entertain you while promoting synthetic food and a bunch of scam products and services, then you're probably already just too far gone. There's something very freeing about seeing through the synthetic hype regarding the Super Bowl, how it's built up into basically a national holiday in the United States of idiocy. I'm Mark Dice, thanks for watching. If you enjoy my more serious monologues like this, and you want to support my work and get a great book, then order Hollywood Propaganda, How TV, Movies, and Music Shape Our Culture in paperback and now hardcover as well from Amazon.com, or download the ebook from any of the major ebook stores. My books are a lot more serious and in-depth than my YouTube videos, and even if you're a big news junkie and you've been following things very close, I guarantee there's going to be a lot of things in those books that you haven't heard, and they're all sourced just in case anybody has any doubts about where the information is coming from, and they're very detailed. So head on over to Amazon.com or click the link in the description below and check them out.